and thanks for staying with us on Assets Television. Welcome to the news. I am Omike Matthew. Here are the headlines. House of Representatives adjusts VAT sharing formula, allocates 50% to states. Rivers Governor Fubara harps on peace, calls for support from followers. Former President Obasanjo carpets Buhari, says Tinubu won't be better. For details of these stories and more, do stay with us. The House of Representatives on Thursday approved a new value-added tax sharing formula, allocating 55% to states and 35% to local government councils. This decision followed the adoption of a report by the House Committee on Finance on 4 tax bills transmitted to the National Assembly by President Bola Tinubu in October 2024. Presenting the report on Thursday, the chairman of the committee, Abiodun Faleke, summarized the extensive review process, which followed a public hearing held from February 26 to February 28, 2025. The report was considered clause by clause and adopted in a session presided over by the Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas. For states, 50% of the revenue is to be distributed equally, 20% based on population and 30% based on consumption. Local governments will receive 35% of VAT revenue under a similar formula. Additionally, the timeline for issuing taxpayer identification numbers has been extended from 2 to 5 working days to accommodate possible administrative challenges. Moves by the opposition parties to unseat President Bola Tinubu in 2027 further gathered momentum on Thursday, with the People's Democratic Party governors, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, and the New Nigeria People's Party planning an alliance to oust the President Bola Tinubu-led All Progressives Congress government. The chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Bauchi State Governor, Bala Muhammad, confirmed the development after a closed-door meeting with Obi at the Bauchi Government House. He expressed his readiness to work with the former LP presidential candidate to give the country purposeful leadership. The Bauchi meeting comes a few days after a former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai vowed to mobilize opposition figures towards unseating Tinubu in the 2027 election. The New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) has lashed out at one Ogini Sunday, whom it claimed was an impostor and should not be taken as representing the party in any form or capacity. Ogini had in a press statement claimed to be NNPP's national secretary and refuted ex-governor of Kaduna State Nasir El-Rufai's claim that the federal government was behind the internal crisis within the party. But in a statement in Abuja yesterday by the National Publicity Secretary Ladipo Johnson, NNPP denounced every word attributed to Ogini, affirming that he and others had since been expelled from the party over anti-party activities and wondered how and in what capacity he could be issuing a press statement on behalf of the party. Johnson stated that the question of faction as erroneously being reported in the press does not arise. It's absolutely uninformed, a misplaced identity, and should be discontinued henceforth. Ogini and his cohort are not members of the party and do not constitute a faction in fact or in law. They have no authority to speak on behalf of the NNPP. On the comments attributed to former Governor Nasir El-Rufai, the statement said such tendency could probably be true because of the past behavior and positions taken by Dr. Boniface Anyebuna led former members, now acting as imposters. The party reiterated that the case of Ogini Sunday, like others, were carefully weighed in the past and party guidelines were followed before their expulsion from the party, adding that their expulsion had been upheld through pronouncements of the courts at different times. The 2023 governorship candidates of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State, Dr. Abdul Aziz Adediran, popularly known as Jandor, had met with President Bola Tinubu former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and others as part of his ongoing political consultations following his resignation from the People's Democratic Party. His spokesperson, Benga Ogunleye, in a statement said the meeting with the president was held on Monday. Jandor, who did not declare his next move, had earlier resigned from the PDP, citing indiscipline and anti-party activities. He accused the PDP national leadership of disappointing him on the eve of the state's governorship election, stating that he would have won but for a false claim of alliance, which made the PDP supporters in Lagos vote for another candidate. Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State has declared his openness towards the attainment of peace, even as he called on all involved in the political crisis to also embrace peace in the interest of peace and development of the state. The Rivers logjam deepened on Wednesday as Fubara and 27 lawmakers of the State House of Assembly traded accusations over the governor's failed attempt to represent the 2025 appropriation bill before the Assembly. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Yeson Wike had mocked Fubara's failed attempt to present an appropriation bill before the Assembly, adding that Fubara should be impeached if he was found to have committed an impeachable offense. Speaking during the inauguration of the 85-year-old Okrika Grammar School in Okrika local government area, Fubara held that the State House of Assembly also had a duty to comply with the Supreme Court judgment. Asset Television News will continue shortly after the short break. Please do stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break. If you are just joining us, this is Asset Television News. And now the rest of the stories. Coalition of civil society groups for peace, security, good governance, equity and justice, in conjunction with media practitioners on Thursday in Abuja, passed a vote of confidence on Senator Godswill Akpabio for his inclusive leadership and sterling performance. The group said for about 3 weeks now, the media space has been inundated by virtual falsehood and verbal attacks being propagated by Senator Natasha Odwogan and her sponsors in unrelenting efforts to tarnish the image of President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. The matter took international dimensions as Senator Natasha illegally attended Interparliamentary Union meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, and further vented the same falsehood with phantom emotional outcry of victimization in Nigerian Senate. Ordinarily, according to the group, she would have ignored, especially as the Senate, in conformity with standing rules, has addressed it, but it was better to say she violated the rules of the Senate and appropriate sanctions meted on her. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has launched a scathing critique of former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, declaring it the worst in Nigeria's democratic history. Obasanjo, however, said the current government of President Bola Tinubu appears to be following the same path of misgovernance and corruption and may surpass Buhari's record. The former president made these assertions in the first chapter of his newly released book, Nigeria, Past and Future. The book was one of the 2 new books the former president unveiled last week in commemoration of his 88th birthday. He also slammed Tinubu's administration for spending 21 billion naira on a new official residence for Vice President Kashim Shettima, calling it a misplaced priority and conduit designed to embezzle public funds. Buhari could not be reached for comments as his spokesman Garba Shehu did not respond to calls and text messages on the allegations against the ex-president. The presidency, however, came hard on former President Obasanjo on the controversial Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. The special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on media and public communications, Sunday Dari, during an interview on television Continental, stated that the 15.6 trillion naira coastal highway was a visionary legacy project with enormous economic potentials. The Bauchi state government has disclosed that measles is becoming endemic in the state. The executive chairman, Bauchi State Primary Healthcare Board, Rulwano Muhammad, made the disclosure on Wednesday during a one-day sensitization program on the importance of the measles rubella MR vaccine. Rulwano, who explained that the sensitization was organized to equip wives of the local government chairman on the preparation for the vaccination exercise in October, stated that measles rubella are two deadly diseases that must be fought with all our energy. And now to the foreign scene. The outgoing Prime Minister of Greenland on Thursday said he would summon party leaders to strengthen their rejection of US President Donald Trump's plan to annex the island territory following his most recent comments on the issue. In an Oval Office news briefing with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte earlier Thursday, the president expressed confidence the US takeover of Greenland will happen. Responding to a question from a journalist about his vision to annex the territory, Trump said, "I think it will happen. We need that for international security, not just security, international," he continued. Rutte did not comment directly on Trump's statement, saying he did not want to drag NATO into the issue. However, he did acknowledge the importance of securing the Arctic region. We know things are changing there and we have to be there. Greenland's Prime Minister, Mut Igede, hit back at Trump's comment in a post on Facebook saying the US president has once again aired the thought of annexing us, Reuters reported. Enough is enough, he added. Igede said he had requested to summon party leaders to intensify their rejection of Trump's plan. And now to the world of sports. Arsenal midfielder Ethan Nwaneri remains eligible to play for the Super Eagles. Nwaneri is one of the players that was dropped from the first squad called up by New England manager Thomas Tuchel. However, two of his club teammates, Declan Rice and Miles Lewis Skelly, have made the 26-man list. Lewis Kelly's call-up is very instructive as he came through the ranks with Nwaneri at Arsenal's Hill End Academy. Both players have impressed under Mikel Arteta this season, with Nwaneri scoring 8 times for the Gunners. The 17-year-old's exclusion by Tuchel could pave the way for him to represent Nigeria. And with that, we wrap up the news. You can follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates and programs. On behalf of the crew, I am Omike Matthew, and thanks for watching.